No road at all to donkey and all them things what is to work in that road. We didn't have no road, motor car going or nothing. We had to walk from the junction to up to where living in Laja. But we had donkey, we used to walk with the donkey. There was no better roses. It was just, how do you call the kind of road that is in the forest, what do you call it?
Trail?
Eh? No, Warden Road. Was Warden Road. And when P&M take over, we get a road for motorcar to reach right by Mulchan and them there. Because I was living in that house with Mulchan and them is. Right? And from there now I built my own house in my estate further up in Laja.
Right.
But there is not Laja. Where the house by Mulchan, there is not Laja, you know. There are different name for that piece of land, estate. I can't remember the name of it. But where I is in Laja. Hope so.
So what it was like then in the 1950s when you started your estate?
Estate, I walked the estate, it was kind of abandoned, but as the estate I have now. But you can't get people to go and walk now, you have no transport can go. I think it was that kind of way.
And how do you consider Lalaha as in your memory? What is it?
Lalaha for me, if I go there now, I'm rich. My heart free of everything. I have no worries, I have nothing. I independent of myself. Watching the mountain, getting all the breeze, I'm happy. Like I hear now, I worrying because you hear gunshot here, so this barrel can't even hold. I am too happy. But if you say I go Lalaha now, I cure, I good, I'm happy.
So you're longing.
That is my way in Lalaha.
So you're longing to go back then?
Right now.
And because of your ill health and your poor roads, you can't go.
Well, I can't go because I can't walk. And if I had my donkey, I go.
Right. So what it was like growing up in Lalaha as an estate owner and having people around who were like estate owners? Tell me about
You're
that.
happy. Everybody living in unity. Everybody was good. You can't pass no one if you ain't got a cup of coffee. You must drink a cup of coffee by your neighbor. Come for coffee. You ain't even have to say come. As you reach coffee, you could get. That's all. Or ripe fig somewhere hanging by the. You must get something to eat. You cannot be hungry when you go Lalaha. But now we have nobody living there because they have no road. Nobody can go. No, nobody can go. Lalaha had plenty of people to come up Lalaha when holidays time, you know. When the waterfall and all that kind of thing. Lalaha was happy. Now you ain't happy because you have no road. I ain't happy neither.
The other estate owners, any of them still alive?
All them dead, boy. I was the only one remaining in the middle. I like a nipple string in the middle.
And what did you plant in your land?
I was planting everything. Everything I planted. Have everything planted.
And the produce on that estate helped raise your family?
That build my house, that build my children, that estate make all my children go to school. They used to walk from Lalaha to Junction. Blanchard Road to that bus to go to school.
And how many children you have?
10.
10. Boys and girls, how many?
6 girls and 4 boys.
And they all love Lalaha as much as you do?
I don't know. I know I love it.
Joseph Steve Scott, actually. I've been living here for the past 25 years straight, but with the history, you know, I actually from here, like my grandfather bought the estate kind of thing, and boyhood we always come into the estate, and you know, and I was always fascinated by what goes on in the estate, the cocoa house and the coffee and all this. We grew up in that. I grew up in that actually. But I went down and educate myself, think, went here, went there, and what. And eventually I had to come back. Because Almighty God decided that I had to see about this place. The whole generation passed away actually. Everybody, all my aunt, uncle, and all kind of thing. But I have other cousins, and they were not interested in the land, per se, you know.
So you're the only one interested
I'm
in
the only man who really into the land thing. And I want son. Who
also interested in it.
yeah, he just come. He here right through with me, basically. Let us say right through, like for the past 3 days I ain't seen him. But yeah, but Laja really is a fantastic place. Like where I am here now, people are talk about challenges, and me no challenge here. I watch my solar energy, I have a generator, but prior to having those things, I always had a contented mind. So whatever, if it's a flambeau I have to light in the night, I light the flambeau in the night and can sleep, and and I never worried about anything. I'm educated enough to know that you don't afraid snake and zombie and all them kind of things. I'm not on that. So that is what make your life comfortable in Laja, per se. You see the road, I ain't fooling you. If the road fix, I gonna be a lot happier, because you see the mere fact that I have a lot of friends who want to come here, but the road, boy, most of them have cars, 1 or 2 might have 4-wheel drive and that kind of thing. So the road, it will make my life happier. But I not living here at all. That'll carry me down in body bag. That's what I change you. Me living here, I'm real comfortable here. You see, as you see, I have my own water running from the river. Thing, and I'm a man who do, go off on this and that and the other. And me, I don't know nothing. If it rum come, I will drink it, and I do it out. And me, I don't, them kind of thing. And since I leaving to go for rum and all them kind of thing, I understand that. That's what will make the life nice. I could cook. As a jovial person, I know grouchy old man, so people just come and look at me here all the time. And that's what will make my life nice. You may find out, it's that kind of person, everybody just come and we have fun and cook and all kind of thing.
I enjoy coming out here because now you see the weather nice and all that. And I suppose it wasn't so in the beginning, but now you will enjoy up here better than long ago.
What is the best memory from it?
Boy, I remember. I think what is it? When we coming up, and Daddy have this wild meat, plenty wild meat. So we enjoyed that part of the year. That part of the stay, real wild meat cooking and thing. And what?
And this property that you had is the original home that your father would have bought
Yes.
in 1950.
50s.
Right, and he would have earned his living to keep the family from this estate.
They live here, he stayed up here 99 to 50, that would be 70 years. He was here for 70 years.
Wow.
I have been in Laja for the past 60 years since I'm a little boy. My father, my mother, they work estate, mine all their children from estate.
How many of y'all?
11. And it had several other landowners up here who mind the children over the estate and lands that they acquire from any past. And well,
What is the size of your parents' estate?
they are 15 acres.
Okay. And what they grew there?
Mixed cultivation, cocoa, coffee, citrus, bananas. And the road deteriorated so bad that people started to sell the lands to the nature center people.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's all right. Which at a cheap price, because the people got fed up with the deteriorating stage of the road. And well, as I told you before, they had a gang here previously. They moved the gang, and since that time, well, we suffering with road. Well, you see, we have no water because it's not a big village to say, well, we'll be recognized. But we still stay here and make the best of whatever we could up to this day.
Tell me something, Mr. William. Tell me what it was like growing up in Laja as a young boy.
It was much better than now. We had better roads because, as I told you, it had a gang maintenance. And then the villagers was more united. It had more people. People left the country because of some generation didn't want to stay in the land. Some left to go to the town. The few that stay, they will just stay here up to this time, cultivated, making a garden, selling the produces.
Tell me what are some of your best memories as a child growing up?
We used to have paran, house-to-house paran, until we had plenty house-to-house paran. All the benching roads and then was being maintained. So you could have walked down a bench in the road and go on to make a little paran, you know.
So what was life like? I mean, what was a typical day for you as a teenager?
Christmas. Christmas was nice in the country. Christmas was nice in the country. As a little boy, we going from house to house. If you're small and you can't walk, they put you on a donkey. You know, 2 people on a donkey, and you go to house and you make a little paran, and who have wild meat, you cook a little wild meat, and
Right. So tell me about now that you are now an estate owner, and some of the challenges apart from the road. What are the challenges you have? How do you get your produce to the market? How do you get chemicals or fertilizer back to you?
Well, we don't get no assistance. Government-wise, we don't get no assistance. We don't get no assistance government-wise. It's just that, we stay here and do whatever we could. We never get any assistance. And then somebody estate up here, they never get no lease. Somebody who have little parcels of land, they never really acquire any lease from the government. Like myself, I applied 30 years ago. They tell me they will visit me, and up to this day, they haven't visited me.
Are you hopeful that you will get any assistance coming out of the recent meetings with the ministers?
I almost sure, because they seem to be very serious about the meetings that they held. Well, with the solar, they say they'll give us a little solar because Tech will be too costly. They say we will get a little water, which will be very helpful because you could make a little crop in the dry season. So I believe something will happen. Something will happen. But this is wrong because we never had this kind of representation visiting Laja in the past.
I know. So we've been for how much years now? About 19 years? Yeah.
No, we live in Laja. We live in Laja for 19 years, but we up here about at least about 30 years.
Yeah, well, my parents, my mom, her grandparents was from Laja. That was like Marceline Gomez, and her son was Tony Campo. Right, but his correct name was Albert Calderon, but everybody knew him as Tony Campo. So he had his estate further up inside, plus my aunt and her husband, Lawrence Susano and Mavis. They had their property a little further out. I think Asa Wright bought their property. So we've been around for a very long time. So as a little child, I was always intrigued with the beauty and the ambience and the serenity of Laja. It's so peaceful, the birds. So I've always been a nature lover, and hence I wanted to always come back here. And finally, Joe and I, we got our own place, and we have children who appreciate and love this part of the country, the nature of it. But as everything else, it has its challenges. The road is, as you can see, deplorable. Our drainage is in poor condition. So when it rains, it really is not nice. And then, of course, well, we don't have the amenities of water supply, so that our children, so then we have to be out of here in order for our children to have a good education. But we try as much as often to come as often as we possibly could. Lately has become very challenging with the pandemic, because now the children have to be online for virtual school. So because of that, for the past 2 years, we've had limited time to come up here because they need 24 access because they were doing exams. So I was not up here as often because of that. But now it's, if we get the solar, of course, that would be amazing. I would actually love that. Because then, we can be up here. Because they love up here. They love.
And they can study up here too.
Yes.
The solar, you'll get your internet connection up here. So, if you can study, you can be up here regular.
Yes. So it would be very nice. I will be very thankful for that, really and truly. So that's it.
All right. So you like to say anything more, sir?
No. She said all.
All right. All right. The true lady of the house.
Yeah,